Okay, Rams, today's notes are over dividing fractions, and they may take a little bit of time, so get comfy in your seat. We've got a little bit of work to do, okay? Our standards here are to recognize that dividing by a rational number and multiplying by its reciprocal result in equivalent values. Basically, I'll explain that in a minute. I'll show what it means, and I'll come back to that. Also, multiply and divide positive rational numbers fluently. And by the rational numbers today, we're talking about fractions, okay? Now, there's a very important word that we need to know. It's called reciprocal. It's a funny-looking word here, but basically it is a fraction when it's flipped upside down. Now, the cool thing about them is that when you multiply a fraction times its reciprocal, the product is 1. So let's do this example right here, okay? So 2/3 times 3/2. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 2 is 6. 6 over 6, that's 6 divided by 6, is 1. Okay, any number multiplied by its reciprocal is 1. All right, so we're going to just practice writing the reciprocal a few times. Now, remember from what we've already done with fractions, no whole numbers and no mixed numbers, we're going to have to make them into improper fractions, okay, to get the reciprocal. All right, first one here, 4/5. When I flip this, I'm going to get 5/4, 5/4. That's all there is to it. 9/2. If one of them is improper, the other one's not, okay? 9/2, when I flip it, it's 2/9. 1/5. 1/5, I'm going to get 5/1, and that equals 5. Ooh, okay, 7. I don't even see a fraction here at all, but you know what? It's 7/1. That's an invisible math there. So when I flip over 7/1, I'm going to get 1/7. Oh, this one is it's a mixed number. We need to make it improper, don't we? 2 times 7 is 14 plus 3, 17/7. I want to write that right here. 17/7. And when I flip that, I'm going to get 7/17. Okay, 6/9. The reciprocal of that would be 9/6. 9/6. Okay, now right down here, it says, what do you notice here? Oh, we kind of already did that, but it's okay. 5/8 times 8/5. These two numbers are reciprocals, yes, but 5 times 8 is 40. 8 times 5 equals 40. What's 40/40? 1. So what did we notice? When you multiply a number by its reciprocal, the product is 1. All right. Now let's go over here to our questions and talk through them for a second, okay? What does reciprocal mean? Well, a reciprocal is basically a fraction flipped upside down, and that's okay to call it that for now. We'll get into a better understanding of it as we go through this in class, okay? Okay, how do you find the reciprocal of a whole number? Well, that was just like that 7 right there, the reciprocal of it. I have to put it over 1 first, then flip, okay? Put it over 1 first and then flip it. How do you find the reciprocal of a mixed number? Well, that is this one right here, this 2 3/7. So what do? We had to make it into an improper fraction first. Oops. Then flip. All right, make it an improper fraction first and then flip. Okay? Oh, sorry guys, there's an announcement happening here after school. There we go. All right. What happens when you multiply a number by its reciprocal? Well, we kind of talked about that now a couple of times. The product is 1. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Okay, the product is 1. All right, that was the first page there. We got that done in 5 minutes. This next one may take a little bit longer, okay? All right, so do we divide fractions? I want you to, whenever time I ask you this, you're going to say, no, sir. I know I'm not a sir, but we're going to use that today, okay? No, sir. We're going to write down same, inverse, reciprocal, okay? So I'm going to write same, inverse, reciprocal. And what does that mean? Well, I keep the first number the same, okay? Keep the first number the same. Okay, inverse means inverse operation, the opposite of division, okay? Inverse is the opposite of division. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying. And then reciprocal means flip, F-L-I-P, the last fraction. Only the last fraction, okay? And that one is your divisor. Now, what does that mean here? We're going to practice this a little bit in some problems, okay? Okay, so we keep the first fraction. So here's my example, 3/4 divided by 1/8. I'm going to keep the first fraction, that's the 3/4, change it to multiplication, flip that last one, that 1/8, we're going to flip it over to 8/1. So now it is a multiplication problem, and we do just like we've done for the past 3 days in class. And then you simplify, okay? So we're going to do these together. This 6 has to become 6/1. So the first thing is I'm going to keep the first fraction. I'm going to write it as 6/1. Then I'm going to change my division to multiplication, and then take the reciprocal of the second fraction. So 2/3 becomes 3/2. So now I'm going to rewrite it as multiplication. 6/1 times 3/2. So 6 times 3 is 18, and 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, we go over here. 18 divided by 2 is 9, and that is my answer. So 6 divided by 2/3 is 9. Okay, if I had 6 pizzas and I wanted to give all of my friends 2/3 of a pizza, I could share it with 9 friends. That's what that means. Okay, this next one here, 5/8 divided by 2. Well, first thing is I need to make that a fraction. Put it over 1. All right, so keep the first fraction, 5/8. Change it to multiplication. Flip the second one, 1/2. So now I have a multiplication problem. Let's write that down. I want to write it in blue so that it's a little easier to tell here. 5/8 times 2/1. 5 times 2 is 10. 8 times 1 is 8. That's the same thing as 5/4 when I simplify. So what am I going to do now? It's improper. So I divide. Top dog here. 5 divided by 4 would be 1 1/4. And that would be my answer here. All right, last one here. 6 1/2 divided by 4/5. So I need to make this improper. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13/2. Okay, all I did was make it improper. I did not flip this. Times 4/5. I need to flip that one. 5/4. So now I'm going to write it over here. 13/2 times 5/4. 13 times 5 is 65. 2 times 4 is 8. 65/8. When you simplify that and use your division, 8 goes into 64 8 times, right? So it's going to be 8 1/8. Okay, last little bit here is looking at our questions. How is the inverse used? That means we change your division to multiplication. Okay. What do you think is the most common mistake? Oh, that's such a good one. There are a lot of mistakes. I'm going to ask you about that in class. I want to know what you think the most common mistake is, okay? And the last thing, your summary. Tell me what you learned here. I want you to put it into your words, okay? Tell me what you learned in this video. All right, you guys are doing a great job. You're going to take a picture of both pages. I want to see both of them together so that I can see that everything is answered. If I can't see all the boxes, you're not getting full credit for this, okay? Have a great day, guys.